Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is the second class of the Sabbath, the Steward class. What I want to do is give you some information. Okay, if you have any additional information, please do so. Or for the viewers, if you have any additional information, please do so. But I want to go into some information concerning Afghanistan and prophecy. Okay, that's what we're going to deal with in this class. It's not going to be a long class, though. Just give you a little history on Afghanistan, give you a little history on the nations that tried to invade Afghanistan and wasn't really successful. You see, America just pulled out, right? But that was going back to a decree that Trump made with them. And a reporter was interviewing one of the Taliban leaders, and he was saying that the people are believing what the Western world is putting out. You know, how they doing the women and so forth, killing the people. Right. He said that's what the Western world is pushing. And also, the leader of the Taliban said that Donald Trump had made a decree, and they said they expect Biden to uphold that decree. And that decree was for the U.S. aid to depart from Afghanistan. So all that was a decree from the Trump era. Okay, because you know the Taliban, you know them cats will start shooting missiles at the airplanes and so forth. The Americans say, hey, as long as you don't blow us down, as long as you don't shoot us down, we are under that decree. So that's what was going on, and you're going to find out that there's a lot of darkness going on with these leaders, with these presidents, political leaders. The whole world is under the wine, and they drunk off the wine of America. I don't care what government you in, what country you in, your leadership is under Satan regardless. If it's not under the God of Israel, it's under Satan. Okay, let's go from Isaiah, let's go to Isaiah the 29th chapter, and let's start from the 15th verse.
Reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15.
Come on.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who sees us, and who knows us?
And their works are in the dark, and the scripture saying, they say, who seeth us, and who really know us? Okay, who know these nations? Who know these leaders, man? That they are under the influence of Satan. They're under the influence of those frogs in Revelation, I believe the 16th chapter, when it speaks about the demonic forces in the representation of frogs. Okay, to get these leaders into the battle of Armageddon. So they're dealing with demonic powers and demonic influence. Okay, and what you see in the world today is all demonic influence. And all these leaders is under that, man. You can't trust not one of them. Okay, best to trust the God of Israel, the Most High. Okay, that's who our trust is in, and that's who the trust should be. Okay, now when you look at Afghanistan, when you look at that area, that land is called, you know, when I was reading some reports on it, it is called the graveyard of all empires, because all empires go into Afghanistan, and some of them pull out or don't make it out. America spent, what, 20 years in Afghanistan. 2,300 American soldiers were killed. A lot of people were killed when America invaded Afghanistan, and trillions of dollars was spent. But for what? What did they accomplish? Okay, so you had the British attempted 3 invasions of Afghanistan. Okay, and they retreated from Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan.
Right.
They retreated from Kabul, we'll give you a year, in 1842. Okay? And the Soviet Union, they was there from what, 1979 to 1989.
Right.
And they withdrew from Afghanistan in 1989. And if you look at it under the table, America was supporting Afghanistan.
Right.
See, they going back and forth. Now, since America is out of Afghanistan, now you got China and Russia stepping up now. See, because who controlled that area, okay, they pretty much control that power around in Central Asia, around in that area. Because if you control Afghanistan, you controlling the uranium, the minerals, and so forth. Okay, you control that area. And then later on in this class, we're going to go into the pipelines. The pipelines that nations is involved in as well, including America. A pipeline that would run through Afghanistan. We're going to get into that a little bit later though. Okay, so that's a part of what a lot of these wars was about.
Right.
The oil, gas, and this pipeline.
Right.
Okay, and a lot of these soldiers was being killed for that. And another thing, if you notice, Afghanistan is where most of the heroin is coming from. The heroin, hash, opium. See, the battle is over there too, because nations want the heroin, the opium, for their medical and so forth.
Right.
Okay, they want that as well.
Right.
China, Russia, America.
Right.
See, and you see our brothers out there in the streets of majority of all ghettos, nodding.
Right. Right. Right.
Where they getting that heroin from? Coming out of Afghanistan. Okay, the poppy plant. Yeah. Okay, about 90%, all the heroin, the drugs is coming from Afghanistan. That's it, yeah. So the Soviet Union from 1979 to 1989, they withdrew from Afghanistan in 1989. And also, like I spoke about, America spent 20 years in the country. Like I say, at a cost about 2,300 lives lost, American lives lost, and more than $2 trillion spent. Now, when you go into the history, you have China. China had invaded Afghanistan, and they was controlling it for a minute. This was the China's Tang dynasty. Write that down. The Tang dynasty ruled from 618. This is AD 618 to 907. Okay. And what I was reading, it read that after the Tang conquered the Western Turks in 659 AD, the Turk king became a vassal of the land of modern-day Afghanistan. Okay, and he became part of the territory of Tang China, the Tang dynasty. Okay, now the Tang dynasty lost control of the Afghan region after its defeat in the Battle of Talas. Write that down, Talas, the Battle of Talas. And this battle was over the region of Central Asia. Okay, the Battle of Talas, which was in 751 AD. Okay, now and this battle was with the Abbasid Caliphate dynasty. The Abbasid Caliphate dynasty. This was in 751 AD. Okay, and the Tang dynasty, they lost Afghanistan in this battle, the Battle of Talas in 751 AD with the Abbasid Caliphate dynasty. Okay, they was battling over the region of Central Asia. Okay, so by the Tang dynasty of China, by them losing the dominance, they lost the dominant influence, which led to what? The invasion of all other external forces into Afghanistan. Okay, you know, just to give you a little bit, showing you that the nations, all superpowers, try to invade Afghanistan. They there for a minute, but they unsuccessful because of the Taliban. Taliban, y'all know what Taliban mean?
No. No.
It means student.
What?
Taliban means student. Student. It can be a student of Allah. It can be a student of their law. It means student. Because they was at war with another group, the Mujahideen, or the Mujahideen, which some of them broke off into the Taliban. Okay, because they was having like internal warfare. Now the Mujahideen was the group that was being supplied by America. Right. See? So America got his hand up under the table, Russia got his hand up under the table, China got his hand up under the table. That's why we read Isaiah 25 and 15, that their works are in the dark.
Right.
See, America was doing a lot of things without the other international nations knowing about. And China too. We're going to read some of the things that China was doing, supplying what they call the terrorist groups with monies and weapons and so forth. Yeah, China. Okay, so from here, from the Battle of Talas in 751 AD with the Abbasid Caliphate dynasty, afterwards you had the Lashan rebellion, the ANLUSHAN, the Lashan rebellion, which broke out in 755 to 763. ANLUSHAN, the Lashan rebellion. Okay, and that name came from a general of the Tang dynasty, which, from me reading, it was said that he instigated this rebellion. It's called the Lashan rebellion, or the Lashan rebellion, which broke out in 755 AD. Okay, and this was like, this general, this name came from this general. Like I said, he instigated this rebellion, and the Tang dynasty, from that, they was never able to restore its control of the Afghan region again. And like as we sit today, you had many nations going into Afghan, and they running them up out of there. Okay, because regardless of the different groups, Taliban, Mujahideen, and the Haqqani, there's another, the Haqqani, the Haqqani network, that's another group. They all believe in their law.
Right.
See, it's going to be hard to get them to go against their law.
Right.
See, America can probably show Saudi Arabia some money. Mm-hmm. They can kind of pay Turkey off, but these guys believe in that one law, and they looking at how they treating the people, they treating the women and so forth. Right. You know, like when America came, they allowed certain things. So when the Taliban took over, they stopped certain things. They even stopped the opium and the hash. The Taliban did, like when they first took over.
Right.
So if you look at some of their law concerning women, you ought to look at the Most High's law. See, you make Israelites, you make the world, oh, the Taliban, they this and that, they hard on women, they hard on the people, but you ought to read some of the Most High's law. Right. How strict the Most High is. Right. See, because we've been too much westernized. Right. Look at the strictness of the Most High's law about his Sabbath, about how a woman should dress, how a woman should act, how a wife should act. Okay, the Taliban said, no, you can't come out in society in public alone, uncovered. Woman came out, they took her, they judged her, they executed her right there. That's law. what you think the Most High law gonna do? Once it's implemented and once that warning been given, okay, it's going to be this or that, life or death.